Once you end your 6 hours long live stream, and what if the chapters are already been added and those are time coded and pushed to description? Is it possible? Yes. Let me show you how this works. The first thing, we'll go to our OBS and go ahead and click on start streaming. Once you're there, we're going to go to our YouTube studio, and I have already created a test live stream so that we can test this on live. I'm going to go ahead and click on go live. Alright, we are live. This is how a typical live stream starts, and let's say in middle of your stream you felt in somewhere the game was too funny, so now I'm gonna press a button, let's say F2, and after a few minutes the chat went dead and it was too silent, and at that moment I'm gonna press F4, and suddenly I was in a boss fight and it got intense. I'm gonna press F1, and somewhere you got bored. At that moment I'm gonna press F3, and almost close to end of your stream the chat went rogue and that spiked your chat. Let me add the chat here. And finally you decided to end your stream, and now this is where the magic happens. I'm gonna go back to my OBS and click on stop streaming and get back to my YouTube studio, and I'm gonna click on end stream. And now if I go to my edit in studio and click on details and go ahead and check my description, there you go. Your chapter is already here, and when you felt it's funny and it was a chill chat, and if it was an epic moment, and when you got bored and at the end there was a chat spike, all these are already pushed to description, and after your live people can just go watch what went good on your live stream. Without any further ado, let's see how to do this. First thing, open the link from the description. That should take you to my website. It took me 2 weeks to code this thing, but I'm giving out this for free. And once you open the link, you should see something called Smart Live Stream Chapter Maker, and once you downloaded that, it should look something like this: auto live stream chapters. Double click open that and it should open in Notepad, and now it's going to be overwhelming, I know, but you can just go ahead and copy all the text from here, Control A, Control C. Now let's go back to our Streamer.bot, and if you want to know how to connect your Streamer.bot to OBS, you can check the link from here. Alright, let's get back to our Streamer.bot. The first thing you're gonna do is on the left side top corner, you're gonna find something called import, and you're gonna just paste the code that we copied from there, and you should be able to see 8 actions: add marker, chat spike detect, export chapters, clutch, laugh, rage, silence, and stream start reset. Once you import it, you're gonna see something called chapters, stream, debug plays. Keeping this here, let's go and create some files that we need to run these actions. Anywhere on your computer, create a folder called, let's say, chapters for live, and double click and open that. Right here, we're going to create few files. The first one, we're going to create a file with an extension CSV. To do that, right click, go to new, and click on Microsoft Excel worksheet. And let's rename this to markers, and you can click on the window. Now that's our first file. Next one, again we're going to click on new and click on text file, and now we're going to rename this to debug and click on the window. You can copy the debug, Control C, Control V, and we'll rename this to debug underscore export. Again, you can click on new and click on text document, and now we'll rename this to final underscore description, and again right click new text document. This one you will rename to description underscore template, and one last file called text document called export. Now you should have 6 files. One is the CSV and rest all it's .text files, and make sure you name these right. Once you have all the files, make sure you know path for these files. You can know that by clicking on the address bar, and that should give you user debug downloads, and that's a folder called auto live stream chapters, and another folder called chapter for live. By leaving this here, we're gonna get back to our Streamer.bot, and now we're gonna connect all those files to our Streamer.bot. Let's get started with the add marker, and on the bottom you're gonna find something called execute code. Please don't touch any other code from here. We're gonna just open the execute code, open that, and in the line 9 and 10 we need to tell the path for our marker.csv and a debug.log. I'm gonna go ahead to the folder. I'm gonna right click on my markers and click on properties, and in the location I'm gonna just copy that. Once you copy it, get back to your Streamer.bot, and right here which says the markers.csv, I'm gonna just backspace from right here and make sure it's after the double quote, backspace and paste it. And once you paste it, make sure you add a left slash. Same thing let's do for our debug.log. Click on debug, right click on properties, and you're gonna copy the path right from there and go back to Streamer.bot, and you're gonna change the code right here. Make sure it's always after the double quote. Paste the location, and that's all here. Go ahead and click on compile. and it should say compile successfully, and click save and compile and okay. So the first one is done. The next one, we're gonna skip to export chapters and click on execute code, and we're gonna give a folder that's containing all the files. I've already copied. I'm gonna paste that just after the double quote, and there you go. So now the Streamer.bot knows there's already a marker.cav in this folder, and it also has a description template underscore text and also a final description dot text, and that's all here. You can click on compile. It says compile successful and click on OK. And the one last one should be the streamers.reset. Execute code, open that, do the same thing what we did, the first two lines 8 and 9. Alright, once you have that, go ahead and click on compile and OK. So now you have all the files that we created in the folder that's been connected to Streamer.bot. Make sure you don't move the folder or change the location file. If you do it, make sure you come back and change the location here. That's it. You have done the toughest part. Now that we have connected the files to our Streamer.bot, so the Streamer.bot knows which files to be used, and make sure you don't change the file location. And if in case you change it, make sure you come back to the execute code and show the path for the Streamer.bot. Now let me show you how to set the hotkeys. If you look at my 4 actions here, clutch, laugh, rage and silence, you can get creative. I was sticking to 4 main chapters in my life. When I say clutch, that's a epic moment for me, and when I say laugh, it is a funny thing that happened on my life. Same with rage, I got pissed, and silence means that no one was chatting and the live was quiet. If you see clutch on the second sub action, there's something called epic moment. You can open that and you can rename this epic moment to anything that you feel. For me, clutch is a boss fight or an epic moment where I try to solve a quest or something that's very important and needs to be remembered. You can change that value to anything, so that would be your chapter name, and press OK. And I have set that to my F1 for a key press. If you double click and open that on a key combination, you can set anything that you want, and make sure you remember the code. Change it, you can click on capture key and click right there, and you can press any key and it's going to capture that particular key. And now if you go back to laugh, I had named this is funny, so that's going to be my chapter name. And you can change this as well. You could say funniest moment in my life, and you can get creative and press OK. And I have set my key press to F2. Same way you can change this to any key. Same way you can go back to rage or silent. Now let me show you how to add a custom template that needs to be pushed to description with all your social media links or tags that you mostly use. To do that, open the folder again and you're gonna find something called description template. Double click and open that, and it should be empty for now. Here you can use ChatGPT to create a template for yourself, or you can add all your social media links. So for example, I have this here, and I have at the starting, welcome to the stream, like and subscribe, daily gameplay and funny moments. And I have chapters. Below this is where you're going to see the timestamps. You can go ahead and click on file and click save, and you can close that. So when you end stream, this is what you see on your YouTube studio. You would see on top on description whatever you added on your template, and below chapters you would see the time code. So you can get creative with this, and make sure you don't mess around with the files here, especially with the location. So this way our automatic chapters on live stream is complete, and I think this is the only video on YouTube that explains how to automatically create chapter for your live stream. So like, subscribe and comment is definitely appreciated. See you on the next video. Until then, bye from the Blue Place.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.